Hey everybody, it's time for the
Sunday after social, the SASS.
the SASS.
The SASS.
Apparently we're going with it.
We're going with it. I like it. So,
It's fitting.
here we are.
Hey.
I'm sorry. All
Are
right,
you gonna
say
drink my
hi.
coffee now?
No, I'm gonna hold your coffee.
You're holding my
You're
coffee?
holding the phone.
Hi.
Wow. See how gentlemanly he is?
I'm
Gentlemanly.
saying
Oh,
I've only
okay.
had like 5 cups already, so I'm good. All right, so all right, go sit down. Sit down in the back row so you can be in the video. We can still see you. You can't
And
get
we
in our
can hear
lap.
the squeaking. We hear you when you're squeaking.
All right. It's Sunday. Hey, it's my birthday this week.
Yeah, he announced it to the whole church.
I
too.
did actually.
And like next week he's gonna get like 5 bazillion gifts.
I did not ask for anything. I was being funny, but I kind of did.
He was trying to make a point about he didn't know the date.
I don't know what week it was. I don't know my birthday's on Tuesday. I forgot.
But that's what happens here. You announce your birthday to the whole church, and
And then I also used the phrase like back in the day,
back
for like 3 years ago.
Twice.
This morning in English.
Twice.
Feeling old. Feeling old.
In the meantime, in kids class, we're playing with rocks
Yeah, that was fun. I heard
Rocks.
I heard
We
laughing
went old
and
school.
rocks and
and
giggling.
tissues and rocks were the subject of
What was the lesson about?
Jacob's name change and the fact that he finally admitted that he needed God's blessing. He couldn't continue. He had to face his worst fear. And he finally admitted, okay, I need you. Even though it still wasn't maybe the most deeply, thing ever. Jacob still had his issues, but
I think I said last time we were reading about Jacob that it was it's like a toddler trying to put on his own t-shirt. Do it myself.
Yeah,
and
do
then
it
there's-
myself.
Come in there like, I can't do it.
yeah,
That's Jacob. Yeah.
He definitely still wasn't without issues, but God finally
Is it
blessed
over there?
him because he
I'm
finally recognized that he couldn't go face Esau alone,
Yeah.
even though God had already promised him that he would help him and all
Yeah.
this. But we're like
Still
that,
think it
right? We don't trust God like we should.
Yeah, I meant my sermon this morning too, the same thing. Same idea. That, yeah, we know God is there. We know He can help us. And we forget to ask Him.
Yeah, we act like it's just not like this thing that we don't tap into, like not in this super like magical way or something like that. But we don't even try. Like we don't have the faith to think that He can, not me, not that. Maybe
Yeah.
them, but not me.
Yeah,
you know?
pretty much. So,
Yeah.
that was good.
But yeah, in class we did that. We had the Valerie and her cousin came plus our kids, and then
I didn't see her.
yeah, and
I
they
didn't see any
just
of
kind of
them.
jumped in, and they're cute because they dress alike, and her cousin visits occasionally because her family lives in San Juan, and they came in, and at first we started with drawing the thing that they're most afraid of, and 4 out of all of the kids, it was out of the ones that drew, there's
I was in here preaching. See, this is the sassy part.
4, 5, 6 kids so 4 out of the 6 that drew things were afraid of a car wreck.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah.
are those my kids? Because
Yeah, no, it was the girls too, and so they were afraid of a car wreck, and
Wow.
then, so we talked about Jacob was fixing to, go against his biggest fear.
would that
And
be a
then-
camel wreck for him then?
No,
Oh,
but it was just his brother who was going to kill him.
His brother,
and
yeah.
then Jeremiah apparently went home with all the rocks.
Show
But,
your rocks. Show them the
So we
video.
talked
Don't
about
let it
that.
go
We
in my
talked about
pocket.
how also when we are saved, that God gives us a new name as well. And then we talked about missionaries and how to pray for them and how they need us to pray for
That's a
them.
memory
And
card, leave it there.
apparently, Jeremiah is going
He's-
through
he's
his
picking my
bag.
pockets.
Yeah, he does that. So we talked about the missionaries, and then we played a game. This family that we're talking about that is in reaching the Southeast Asians in Canada.
Stop.
They play these games with the kids in order to start speaking to them about Christ. And one of them is basically kind of like jacks, but you throw a rock in the air instead, and you try to grab the other rocks.
Wait, you guys were throwing rocks in the classroom?
We were
today?
throwing rocks today, and of course, at least one of the toddlers threw them in other places, and one of the rocks broke
So
in
which,
half.
which
and-
kid is without sin?
no. So we were throwing rocks, and then we also tried this time of prayer time, and we
Rocks.
had to throw a tissue in the air. And of course, it's something we probably wouldn't have done pre-COVID, but or during COVID. But we threw a tissue in the air, and everybody had to blow with their mouth, and so you got a bunch of kids was trying to keep the tissue in the air.
Clearly, we're not worried about COVID anymore.
And every time the tissue fell, they would have to pray for a missionary, but their specific need, not just bless them, but a specific need. And I actually got one of the girls, Valerie, who's been with us for years, to pray out loud in the classroom, and that's a big deal for her. She is
She
so
never
shy.
talks. Yeah, she never talks.
She does not talk. Sometimes she looks at me like she doesn't understand me in whatever language I speak. And
Reggaeton.
reggaeton in the street.
Every day.
Yeah. Anyway,
All sounds the same.
wait till Christmas starts.
Oh yeah, we'll
And
get
so-
videos. Don't worry, we'll do some SASS Outside when Christmas comes, there'll be parades and parrandas and everything
Parrandas,
else.
yeah.
You can't wait. You'll love it.
Yeah, maybe with eating pasteles and stuff like that.
While eating pasteles, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not fair. Anyway, that's cool.
Anyway.
She talked. I don't know anything. She hadn't talked to me about it this morning yet, so I'm learning.
So she prayed out loud,
Yay.
and she didn't exactly follow the direction of praying for a specific need as far as a missionary that we support. We support 2 missionaries.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, next Sunday night at 5 is family movie night.
Sunday night at 5, yeah.
Next Sunday
But
night.
she did pray out loud, and that was a big deal. So usually our kids just kind of lead the way, and the other ones do it. And yeah, it was,
Whoa, coffee. Yeah.
I'll take
And
the
now she's
coffee.
gonna hold the coffee and
I'll
the
hold the
camera.
coffee.
All right then. Jeremiah's jumping on. me.
Jeremiah, what do we have going on Sunday?
What's going on next Sunday night? You just asked me.
Family movie night.
Family movie night.
Yep. At
Everybody's
church.
pretty excited.
At church at 5.
The guy asked me at 5 o'clock. That's right.
We tried this before, and we didn't have as big of a turnout as we wanted. It ended up being with like kids running all over the place and popcorn everywhere.
Oh, we're gonna get that anyway. It's gonna happen.
Probably.
But more kids and more popcorn.
But we're excited because it seems like quite a few people are interested in this. We got a special license to show the movie in Spanish only. It's not available to the public.
Pilgrim's Progress.
Pilgrim's Progress movie, and so we're not necessarily in agreement with like every little detail of the movie or anything, but it's based on the book pretty accurately, and just a way to be able to have some family time, pre-Halloween, type stuff. We're gonna give the kids a bag of candy, and just family. We're giving away like a movie night box that we found at Sam's. Yeah, we have a Sam's, it's the next city over, and
More
anyway, we
rocks.
found this thing to be able to gift them time with their family as well later.
Yep.
So people are pretty excited about it. We
Yeah,
got a
we've
license
been
to show it in
for like 2
English.
months
Or show it in Spanish, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
we are the only ones that have this movie in Spanish.
Well,
we asked for it to get, well, not right.
Out of the ones who...
Okay, we're the only church in Anyasco that's showing this movie in Spanish.
Yeah, but if y'all are interested, we can share with you guys the website to be able to get special permission to show in your language if something that you're looking for. They have it translated for you
If it's
for the
English.
purpose of doing ministry.
It's
Yeah.
on Amazon Prime.
Well, in
in
English
English.
it is. Yeah, in English it is. But the other ones, all they ask is just a small love offering in order to
Yeah, and so
help care for their things. So.
yeah, it's kind of illegal to show a movie in church without a license, and it's important to me always to keep up with little things like that. So we made sure we had the right license and everything before we even asked if we promoted it. And they were like, "Yeah, you can do that," and they sent it to us, and we have our exclusive version, and it's gonna be awesome.
You can only show it once. And,
Yeah, once on this date, and you have, it's a license. So,
Yeah.
but it was free with a love offering, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's a really good. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out on Amazon. It's really good. Very good version of the film and of the book. Like I said, except certain little aspects. But
Yeah.
anyway, overall, it's good. It's pretty close to the book itself. But anyway, so that
personally,
yeah.
I guess things are going well. We spent a good bit this week, especially yesterday, working on the next step as far as starting our process of new ministry partnerships.
Yep.
And we'll share some more about that stuff later.
Yep.
But that's kind of where some of our brain has definitely been for the week.
Yep. So I'm not by nature a planner. I don't like planning things, because I'm not that guy. I just show up in the moment and do it and make it happen. But this requires a lot of planning. So working through some things with that.
And doing
just
it
trying to get it
differently.
in order. It's a lot different than what we were expecting.
It's differently than we're used to. We
different
had
than what we've ever
training
done.
in one way, and we're having to develop a different mindset. That's not exactly new. It's something
No, it's
that
not new.
everyone has done for a long time. Just only certain groups of people have only done it a different way, and it seems to be more effective. And
Should we-
we'll
should I
be
mention the
sharing
book?
some more,
Did I mention the book we're reading?
I guess.
I've been reading a book called The God Ask by a guy named, I think it's Steve Shadrach, I think it is. Yeah, something like that. The God Ask. It's a famous book. It's been around for a while. But anyway, it's really good, really eye-opening. It has some Bible studies in it about giving and money and missions and support and all kinds of things. And the idea of changing this mentality. Missionaries are not beggars. We unfortunately we act like it sometimes because of the way we speak about ourselves and about our ministries. But the work is worthy of the funds, and being able to put that in a way that actually makes it where we're not just asking for money, but we're equipping people to serve in the kingdom by helping us do the work here and things like
Yeah.
that. It's definitely a mind shift from some of the things we thought about before.
Yeah.
It's a really good book though overall. If you're curious into how that works, that would give you a
There's a
pretty
big
good idea.
coming in.
What?
Big sneaking in the back door.
They're trying to feed the goats. But we
It's
got to
a-
get the grass this morning.
It's an interesting concept because it's something that we always knew, like that God has infinite resources, right, for anybody and everyone. We know that we are called as Christians to be generous, and being generous to more than just specific things, but to be generous as a whole as God leads you, right? That there's definitely more than one type of offering listed in the Bible, and that we should be, of course, taking care of the house of God and that sort of thing, but that there's many more as God lays on our hearts to be able to do.
Yeah.
And so many people gave all or more. And so anyway, God has infinite resources, and it's actually this idea of actually how ministers are called to depend on God for their provision, and that how biblical that is, and won't go into all that at the moment, but it's very biblical. But then also,
Ouch. Spice Mommy's coffee.
kid just spilled coffee on my leg.
Good thing it wasn't hot anymore. Because you never drink hot coffee.
Wow. Somebody didn't offer me a hot coffee. You're supposed to bring it to me in bed.
Well, you were.
See?
That's
Yeah.
this afternoon, so I'll do this.
Well, when I take my nap.
After nap.
I'll
Coffee.
have a nap. Anyway, that we know that God is infinite in resources and ability, but that missionaries are not going to people and asking people to give them money. They're going to God and saying, God, will you provide us with partnerships that is honoring to you, while the people who are giving us, who are also ministers, are looking for who are we supposed to be generous to. And God connecting these and using people in order to be able to supply the needs of others. And it's still all from God, but it is God who is connecting these relationships, not us going person to person and saying, hey, will you give us
Hey,
this
give me
thing?
money. Hey, give me money. No, it's not
Yeah,
that.
but then also on the church side of it, we support 2 missionaries, and not necessarily saying, hey, by the way, these missionaries over there, they have another need, but actually letting our people get to know them, get to know their family, get to know their personalities, their needs, their
been hard to
culture,
do, but-
their vision. Why in the world are they even there in the first place? And really teaching them it's not just a need, you're giving to a cause, you're giving to a vision, you're giving to not just God's kingdom as a generality, but specifically, what are you giving to? What are they doing there? And so it's really neat. We had a
Definitely
girl
mind
call us
shift.
this week that was here
Yeah.
and doing this exact same thing, and she was raising funds locally, and she's going to go work with the athletes at the college. And she was a perfect example of, this is what I'm doing, this is where God has called me, and urgency to be able to seek those partnerships.
But
And
it was
really
funny
neat.
because we've been doing this, reading through this book, and then she calls us and.
And it's not the first one. We've
I know
received
what you're
other
doing.
ones too. Yeah.
It's the second one for me.
Anyway, that's a whole
found.
other thing.
Anyway.
We'll do
We'll share more about it
ministry
later, yeah.
raising stuff later.
Yeah,
but
it's
that's
not
just
that-
where our brain's been a little bit.
Yeah.
But as far as personally, the kids also yesterday the big kids started working at the dog shelter.
Yep.
Andrew's been working at the farm, and the other ones were at first disappointed that the little
You got
ones
to
were
go
tagging
every
along,
week,
and
yeah.
but they went, and we helped a girl that we know. That we've known her for a while. She hasn't been a part of the church, but a good acquaintance. And
She comes off and on when she's around. or
yeah,
whatever.
she's got 2 little kids, and she's doing a really sweet work over in the other side of the city, and just doing dog rescue and trying to connect. There's a lot of that here. You don't see deer on the road, you see dogs, and just trying to find new homes for them and just give them a chance of life. She found a lady that's been doing it for years, and she's just trying to take over what she cannot do anymore.
Yeah.
And so we just went to help
I
him.
think it's
And
actually
Zachary, with his sensory issues, if you know anything about children in therapy, sometimes animals are able to help with that. And his animal preference is a dog. So
Yep.
Thank you.
So that was that. Yep. And then so they went.
So-
I stayed home and watched Curious George with this guy and Benjamin. They sat Jorge Curioso. They were watching Spanish. I just sat by my book all morning while they watched cartoons.
And at first I felt bad. It's like,
Is that
oh,
good
he has to be
parenting?
home babysitting the
I told
kids. Even though
Andrew-
he's not really babysitting, I
No.
felt bad because he was supposed to be.
No, the TV was babysitting. I was
Yeah,
supposed
but
to be
he was
reading.
supposed to be not just reading, but he was supposed to have a discipleship class with a guy.
Yeah, he canceled
And we
on me,
turned
yeah.
on a TV for the babies, and because they're not going to move once we turned that
They
on.
did not.
They did not. But the guy wasn't able to come, and then he had other visitors instead.
Yep. But I was just dead then. When?
You don't remember?
Oh yeah, Jehovah's Witness came by the house yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot.
You got a chance to maybe cause a little bit of
I
thought
just asked him a
process.
question. I said, who does Isaiah call that if Isaiah talks about Jesus and he's the one born of a virgin, then why is it called Almighty God? And I mentioned several other scriptures, and they couldn't answer me. So, and she got mad at me. She went all New York on me and stuff, and like came out like how much she studied and all that. I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah,
that's
but
what
he
Bible
thinks the
says, so.
person that she was with,
The person with her is kind of hiding behind her,
room to thought.
because you can't if you can't answer my questions. And I was trying to do it nicely, but she's like, I don't like the way you're asking questions. We're not sitting down and studying. No, I said you came to my door, and I'm just here to defend the faith. Jesus Christ is God. If He's not God, He can't be your Savior.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't believe the same Jesus I do.
In the meantime, the boys are behind him playing basketball.
And you're just like playing ball with a neighbor. Yep.
on my
Uh
pinky.
oh. Go wash. Get a wash. Go wash in the water. Yep. Go wash it in the water in the bathroom.
ant bites.
What do
But,
So the little boys are back there playing, and apparently this caused this little boy that was playing with Andrew to ask a lot of questions about the church. His
Yeah,
family
who's
is
the
Catholic.
TW? Who are they?
His family is Catholic. They won't allow him to come to church, but he has questions, and
Yeah.
so we don't really know. Andrew is. We don't know how he'll answer yet, how strong he is and what he believes, because we do feel that the kid's relationship with Christ is something that they have to decide for themselves. And yeah, and we do hope that these friendships that they have with their friends that will eventually result in them being able to know Christ as well. So
Yeah, well, that they're becoming better friends, and as the more they talk with them, the more they talk about it. Obviously, they know I'm the pastor, and they come to church, and they're inviting them to movie night, and maybe they'll come to movie night versus a service or something.
yeah.
We've invited the parents
Come
for
for the
years,
candy,
maybe they'll just come for the I don't know, we'll see. But we don't push it on them, and we don't push our kids to be like you got to invite all your friends. We're like, no, you understand, their parents make the decision for them still, but
One of them, their
You can
parents
talk
already
about
been
it.
to the church, and they had a disagreement about it.
speaking of Jehovah's Witnesses,
Yeah, but
that Sunday I
it's okay.
happened to
We
say
just-
something about them.
we just want them to be able to have friends, but also organically and show them Christ, not by pressure, not by force. So even the lady today that came, that she's been coming for a couple of weeks, she's getting ready to go back, and she apologized that she may not be able to come for an event coming up because her daughter is coming in only for 3 days, and then they're going to be celebrating. And I said, look, if you don't come to church by force, and if you're not there, it's not because you're a sin. It's okay to take a day to have a vacation and things like that. There's a big difference, and each person knows within their heart if they're just, playing hooky
an
from
excuse,
church,
yeah.
or if they're just, constantly going on vacation or something like that. But you shouldn't feel guilty to spend time with your family, occasionally, and it's okay. So anyway, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
So today,
Now we've got
this
to
is what
Sunday.
you're
That was our
actually.
week.
This is what you're actually here for, right?
Sunday after service show. Now it's like the entire week after service show.
Yeah.
Just so you know, we do stuff all week.
So,
But we don't want to do videos every day. That'd be boring.
Yeah. So somebody was cutting the grass when we got here.
Yeah. Freddie was out cutting
We were a little
grass.
surprised. At first, it's like
Usually does it on
maybe that's the
Saturday,
reason,
but it's been raining all
that was
week.
okay.
So he came out this morning. He apologized for cutting grass on Sunday morning. He said, "I'm evangelico. I'm Christian, but I go to a church. I live in Aguada, so that's the next town up from us." He's like, "Sorry, it's no big deal. I think the grass looks good. And he said, "Oh, can you guys pray for us this morning? My house, there was a mudslide at my house, and the mud has run inside of my house. I have no lights, no water.
Still, it's been
And
over a month
Well,
since
I
we
know
got on.
because I think it's from the mudslide, not from the storm. It's not from the storm. But he lives in Aguada, not our town, and
But
he
there are
says
still people without
there are
power,
people
too.
without lights more, yeah. But he lives off the main road. And he said the bad mudslide is up against his house. His house is in peligro. It's in danger, and the city won't come out and help him with it because apparently he lives on a state road, not a city road. I didn't even know that was a thing, but he said that. He also said he knows one of the families that's been coming to our church for a long time. That he knows them, but. So I invited him. I said I don't have a machine. I don't have a excavator, but I have some shovels. So if he needs to help dig it up, we'll come over and help. Just let me know. And then we had English service this morning. Missing one of our families wasn't here today. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna call them. They weren't here Thursday either.
No.
But they're things. I know. I just
Yeah,
only miss
things
them.
happen.
I was like, I give people about 2 weeks, and then I'll start.
But
texting
they're the
them,
ones
"Hey,
that have
we
been
miss y'all."
especially wanting new people to come. And
Yeah,
sure
that
enough,
always happens. And we.
and
They're
they're
never here when
they're
new people
saying,
come.
Pastor, I want to go out and I want to walk with you on the roads near the beach, because they assume that that's where more of the tourists live, even though a lot of them are Airbnbs now. But he wants to go and do that. But then, yeah, sure enough, the week they're not here.
The new people show.
Yeah, a younger couple came. I don't know, maybe in their 20s.
Probably 20s, late 20s, mid 20s.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
They're younger than us. But
We think that they're not married. We don't know for sure their story yet. But
they're not married. He said, "I hope she'll marry me one day."
oh yeah.
So yeah, so
Oh, that's
we'll leave
sweet.
it at that.
Yeah, but,
He's like, "I
but
hope
they were
so."
here, and never been here before. He's from North Carolina, and he's been on the island for a little while. We don't know what brought him here. Don't know
I
the
do.
whole story
I know
yet.
what brought him here.
Oh,
Not to the island, but I know what brought him to the church.
yeah.
I was gonna say
Well, the church, yeah.
Yeah,
His,
this is
his
new.
mama found him.
his mom found us on YouTube.
He was like, moms that care for us. So you moms that you watch, caring for your kids.
Share our videos on YouTube. Well, not these videos because these are just weird. But anyway.
Yeah, but
She
you're
shared a
serving
preaching
them.
channel on YouTube and showed it to him. He's looking for English church. There's another one in Rincon, but it's kind of a it's a charismatic church. So he went and visited them. 'Cause his
And they're
neighbor goes
bilingual.
there.
They go back and forth. It's
He
not a
actually
specific
preaches
English
like
service.
ping pong, English, Spanish, which
Yeah,
I can't do.
It's not a specifically only English service.
And so, but anyway, he found us on YouTube and started watching. I watched a couple of your sermons and wanted to come check it out. And then he said he really liked it. And his neighbor who invited him to the other churches, because I'm going to invite him to come to your church next week. So they liked it and they'll probably come back. And so that was cool.
Yeah.
And then a guy showed up in the middle of the service, and a car pulled up. Kristen's my interceptor. I don't know what you call it.
Ping
Greeter.
pong. Ping pong lady.
Ping ponger. She just bing, bing, bing. She never gets to sit through a service. Either it's kids or something else.
You guys
anyway,
in ministry know.
a car pulled up, and she got out and talked to the guy. And hey, there's Lindsay, the owner. Anyway, car pulled up. She talks to him. He drives off. Like, okay, that was weird. I'm trying to preach, but I can see things going on out there. Okay. He is a guy. His name is Alexander. That's
And it's
easy to
funny
remember.
when he introduced himself, he said, "Who invited you?" "Oh, my friend Alexander." And I'm like,
Who?
"Okay, my husband's Alexander."
That's me.
And, like,
And him.
well,
He has the
and
same
I'm
name
trying
as
to
me.
figure out, who does he know that I don't know?
So anyway,
It took
he
him a
did-
minute to figure it out.
He came back for Spanish. He doesn't speak English. He was intimidated by English, so he came back for the 11:30 service.
And when he left, we didn't know if he was coming back.
Yeah, I didn't know if he's gonna come back today or next week or what. I never know because I don't know what's going on in the parking lot.
And
Anyway,
he apologized. He felt bad because he was wearing flip flops and shorts.
Yep.
And he was like, "I don't know if I can come in like this."
Yeah,
And,
yeah, you can. Yes, you can. You can come to church.
Yeah.
Be in church. He is okay. So here's a story. A couple weeks ago, we had the group come out from Puerto Rico Bible College.
The college
students came out. And they knocked on his door and gave him food and talked to him. And actually, I think their leader was the one that talked to him. Ponce, Suni Ponce.
Yeah, they went in his house.
They went in his
and
house,
spent
talked to
some time
him.
with
His dad died in July, so he's really hit hard by that. He's suffering through the loss. He lived with his dad, and said his family close by, but they're not close. So it's him and his dad. His dad died, and he didn't care for him for a while. Still talked to him this morning, still about crying about it and everything.
Wow.
But they talked to him and prayed with him, shared the gospel with him, everything, and he prayed, but didn't pray to get saved. But he prayed with them, about the situation. And I called him last week and said, "Hey, you can come by and do a visit or whatever." "Yeah, you sure?" Or so you can come by and visit on Sunday. "Oh yeah, I'll come sometime." He didn't come last week, but then he pulled up this morning and showed up. And I was like, "Oh, it's Alexander. Yeah, I know who that is."
It's
So,
always nice because not
he lives
everyone
right up
who
the street.
says, "I'll come one day."
No, say I'll come one day.
comes,
He didn't
you
say I'll
know?
come one. He said I'll come. I'll come next week, but he couldn't come last week, so he came today. And I talked to him after church a little bit, and talked to me about his dad. And I told him, that hopefully he knew the Lord. I don't know for sure. Of course, a lot of Catholics, I don't want to promise people are in heaven, but still don't want to be like, oh, your dad's in hell. I mean, that's really harsh to somebody you just met anyway.
Yeah.
Even if it's biblically true, it wasn't time to say that. So I said, I hope you knew the Lord, and I hope that you do as well. You'll be able to see him again. And I preached this morning. I talked about Jairus losing his daughter. Jairus, Jairo. I don't know how to say it in English, but it's easier in Spanish.
Jairo.
Anyway, yeah, Jairo. Jairus losing his daughter. And, and I had forgotten that his story about his dad had just passed away, so it kind of hit him hard this morning that, it's not enough time with somebody and things like that. So he was talking about that a little bit later, but he's kind of still hurting over that. So pray for Alexander, and that he'll come back. So we had 3 visitors, 3 guests today, 3 guests, first time guests. We gave away most of our chocolate bars. We got to get some more. And
Yeah, all the cups are gone too.
are they? Cool. So we get some more. All of our special cups.
Cool thing.
So and there's like one after another. Been a couple weeks in a row with people.
And not only
coming in.
that, they I think the
services.
couple has finally chosen a day of when to open the food bank, and so
Did
as
they?
soon as she tells me what hours,
Cool.
I will be making a graphic to open that up.
Did not know that either.
Yep, cool.
I find out stuff in this video too.
We just decided to wing the video today.
We don't talk first. Can you tell we don't have a script? It's just kind of fun this way, and that's
Yeah.
why they're so long,
Bye, Jeremiah.
and that's why they're over half an hour. And
Oh, and Jeremiah peed on the floor in the bathroom today.
oh yeah.
And apparently our first time visitor
I'm preaching.
got the full view.
I hear I sit over in the corner. There's a wall. We built a wall to block the bathrooms, and I hear boom, lid, and then I hear. Psh. I didn't know which kid it was.
Now, the church
But
is relatively
they
small.
don't
I mean,
know how
many
to
square
close-
feet would you say the whole building is?
1,000?
1,000 square feet, you think? I don't know.
1,200 square feet.
1,200 square feet. So, I mean, if people make noise, it echoes. Like I was singing with the kids today and
I can
laughing,
hear they're
and they can
singing
hear it
and
in
they're
here.
laughing with the rocks
If
falling. I
the
can-
nursery and the kids class, it has an open wall in between that's not covered, so you
Yeah.
can really hear between each other. I can hear the sermon on the speaker for the nursery. It's we just kind of have to learn to tolerate each other.
One day we'll have a bigger space and we won't even see each other all morning. We'll
Yeah,
be over
so
there. I'll be over here.
And
and be like,
Jeremiah
whatever.
tells me he needs to go use the restroom. He's been having an issue with home with that, just kind of going
Waiting
in the
too
floor,
long.
waiting too
Yeah.
long, I think. And then it's funny, the kid that never had accidents and.
But
now
Andrew was quick to go help him. And
Yeah,
everything.
Andrew pops in. He's like, "Yeah, Jeremiah did this thing," and
Yeah.
I didn't even know that he did
Sorry,
it.
that's too much information for some people.
We've
They're going,
definitely-
ew, but that's part of
Yeah.
life when you have kids that run. They can,
Yeah,
you can't
they're
leave your
gonna.
class, go in the bathroom.
They have to potty train at some point, and they're gonna just walk in the bathroom and expose everything, and then they're gonna walk back out of the bathroom and expose everything because they need help wiping or
or just they forgot.
And you as a parent is doing that, we'll
And
say.
I can't exactly. Hey, a big one. We found one.
Maybe I shouldn't say in front of him that he did that very thing, but anyway. Yeah.
Say hi, Zachary. Come say hi in the SASS.
Hi. He's big now.
He's big.
12.
He's 12.
Oh, he can shoot basketball. It's like whoosh. We played basketball with him last
and
Sunday.
Andrew
It
are
was fun.
with, and Andrew is right at my height, a little bit taller than
Yep.
me now. Zachary's really close.
Okay.
Bye.
Just came in to get water. I don't want to be in your stupid
Josh
video.
was still in between. Sometimes, some days he feels little, some days he feels big.
We got bigs, middles, and littles. So, yep. Anyway, so that was this morning.
Hey, I was.
I'm up here talking about trying to share the gospel message and how important it is to know Christ.
You were
And
in
I
that
was
part.
right there at the end of the game, and all of a sudden we're like, oh no.
Where did he go?
And he's like watching Andrew run after him and everything. He's like, no, like I don't think he knew it was his brother. And he's like,
It's
don't go
almost
over
as-
there. Don't go in the bathroom.
It's almost as funny as the time the rat ran out from under the piano in the other church.
Well, that was a
in the
whole
middle of
other
service.
thing. Anyway, so some days here are just crazy. We
Hi,
have a good
Micah.
time. There's a Micah. Hey, come here, Micah. Come say hi. Come say hi in the SASS. What'd you find? A long piece of rusted metal. What are you gonna do with that? Come here. He's gonna forge with it. He's gonna make he's gonna wrap it up.
Yeah,
and
if y'all
make
don't know,
a
he wants to forge.
Damascus canister
He wants to create blades and stuff.
piano wire. Yep.
What you
Do y'all
got?
know how to, if any of y'all have an anvil laying around, like a real one, and you'd like to ship it to Puerto Rico, just let us know. Actually, you can wait till next year. We'll do it
People
for
are
you
gonna
guys.
ship an animal.
First of all, nobody has an anvil just laying around. Second of all, my UPS guy would hate me if we ever order one from
Pretty
Amazon.
sure we could use a couple of teenage heads to be animals.
We could get it.
Anyway, that's probably enough for now.
That's enough for now. Yeah. No, it was good. It was a good morning. Had a good time today.
Yeah.
Moving forward, and
Good to see new people.
we need some
We
fun.
have, we don't know for sure that the situation, but we feel like that we had a situation going on, and it seems like that situation's been resolved now.
I'm getting.
You know,
I'm starting to
we
get the
don't know
feeling.
for
I
sure.
can't say for sure, but sometimes you get the feeling as a pastor that something's happening behind the scenes and it's hindering the church, and you can't always put your finger on it, or you don't know exactly what's being said or being done, but something is going on. It's either a bad spirit in the church, negativity, or somebody's talking without thinking. And I noticed that in a certain situation recently, and then after about a month or two of that, almost 2 months, I could really feel it was there. It had really changed something. Well, that particular family is no longer with us, and since literally the week after they stopped coming, we've had new people come almost every week. And
almost every service.
I hate to see people not come to church, but I knew that we were not in agreement, and we were never going to be in agreement. And
It was
I really
an
wanted to move
impasse
forward.
situation.
Yeah, they weren't going to change, and I wasn't going to change. So we just kept moving forward, and it took care of itself. I preach and teach the Word of God, and it let it take care of itself a lot of times without having to deal with people individually, unless there's an absolute need to sit down and say, hey, you got to stop this, or hey,
Yeah.
this is where we are, and it's not going to change.
Kind of like the situation with Jacob and Isaac and Rebecca and all that, the whole lineage, right? That sometimes we just don't wait on God long enough because we get too impatient. And
Don't you go back
God
to
already
that.
knows what He's going to do.
Yeah, so
So.
we waited it out basically, and
We don't always have to jump in and get, make it all worse.
so like I said, in 2 weeks we're having our first communion at the church.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's on November 2nd.
Oh, and we got a cistern. If you don't know what a cistern is, it's like a water collection thing that's really
Is that like
common here.
a brethren? We
Yeah,
have brethren
we
and
have
cistern.
We have cistern here, and it was donated.
It's a giant
and-
water tank.
Yeah, and so we're gonna try to convert that into a baptistry.
Yep, we're gonna play a Puerto Rican game of let's see how we can make this work, because it was free.
Yeah, we mentioned that we could go to the beach, but we can't really guarantee it's gonna be chill.
Not supposed to say.
Huh?
That's one of the things we're not supposed to say.
What?
But we got it for free.
Oh,
It's called Poor Talk.
I don't know why. Anyway, it was given to us because it was damaged because cisterns are valuable here. So, people
I
without
don't think it was
water.
damaged. It had a pipe in it, and then there's a hole
She
where the
said it
pipe
has
was.
a damaged thing to it.
We'll figure it
and
out.
so, but yeah, it was to a lady that has been a very good friend of ours for a while.
Yep.
And we're gonna turn it into a cistern, and he wants to just cut the top off of it and turn it into
Yeah, it's
something
like
we can do.
5 feet wide, 5 feet deep. So we're gonna
Yeah.
cut it, turn it into a baptistry, and then we're gonna.
We've always wanted to have a place we can baptize
put it
right
right
here.
outside the church when we need it, fill it up
Yeah.
with water, and then do the baptism Sunday. So
Yep.
hopefully that will be. I don't know when it'll be exactly yet. Probably won't be by the 2nd, but I'm talking to the guy about getting baptized before we have communion, And so I'm gonna call him so we can try and get him, set up for
A
that.
lot depends on when we can get the cistern and get that
Well,
situated.
even if we can, I just get a big bucket and throw him in it or something, I guess.
He's a short guy, so
He's a small guy.
Yeah,
Just
he
use
might
the
be
Bob
able to
bucket if we have to.
get a Rubbermaid.
Well, we don't have a way to put a baptistry in the church because of the space. We don't want to invest that kind of money into a rental building. But a cistern is something we can take with us. We can fill up when we need it. And I don't know
think
where we're
the
going to put
cistern
it.
want to be taken.
Well, this is the cistern. Yeah. I don't know what we're going to do with it when we're not using it, but we'll figure it out. But that was exciting. We had one given to us anyway.
Collection for the kids that won't chill.
I just leave them in there. Yeah, put the lid on it. Stay
Like
there.
like the toddlers that wanted to sit on top of each other during the English service.
Did they?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, they were fighting.
All right. I got a haircut. Yeah. Oh, one of the men in the church asked my wife if he couldn't get a hold of his barber. This is his barber is. We got to be done. It's getting long.
Yeah.
His barber visited the church years ago, and now he lives near where this guy in the church lives. And I'm like, "Who's your
He
barber?"
stood out too because he came with his kids.
Came with two
and
kids,
We
yeah.
don't usually see a guy by himself with the kids. So.
So anyway, he's like, "Who's your barber?" And he's like, "Oh, it's this guy." I'm like, "I know that guy." He's like, "Yeah, he talks about you. He's been in the church." I'm like, "I know." And so he's been invited to come back, but he couldn't get a hold of him. So my wife, who cuts all of our kids' hair, he called me one day. He's like, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" I'm like, "You know how that is as a pastor. You're like, well, okay, now what?" And then so he says, "No, I was just gonna ask if your wife would cut my hair because my barber wasn't available." So she does a good job. See, she's getting good at it. Yep, exactly. So it's a skill she's learned over the years here.
That would have been a new one for me. I've never been asked somebody to cut my hair,
Yeah.
cut their hair before.
Yep. I can't cut hers. So yeah.
Probably figure it out.
Anyway, who else is back there now? Micah? Who else we got? All right. Anything else to
All right.
add to our video? We need to be done.
All right.
Bye.
Dile bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye again. Thanks for watching. And we're excited to share. Everybody, share this with somebody. We'll talk to you soon.
Good night.